Good evening. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Finance, Budget, and Personnel Committee for Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. Are there any potential conflicts of interest? Seeing none. Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens' comments? Last call for citizens' comments, seeing none. 4, consent agenda, minutes of October 3rd, 2023 meeting, bills and payroll, monthly position control report, and report of personal actions. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Oh, sorry.
Motion to place on file.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Andrew.
Andrew, sorry. I'm sorry, Andrew, my goodness. So we have a motion and we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, like sign, seeing none. We will skip over number 5 because there were no items removed. 6, request to recommend council approval to promote Sarah B.
Barkoviak. Barkoviak.
There you go. To the position of Youth Service Coordinator Library and refill the resulting vacant Youth Service Specialist position, 32 hours per week, with 2 part-time positions, 16 hours per week, presented by Jill Porter, Library Director.
Thank you, Chair. I think this is a rerun basically from a couple of months ago when we replaced our adult services supervisor. What we're looking to do is take a strong internal candidate and promote them to supervisor within that department and take her to part-time or her 32-hour-a-week position and break it down into 2 16-hour-a-week positions, which will save us some money, but more importantly, give us some flexibility in covering our information desks.
Okay. Any questions? Would anyone like to make a motion? Motion by Natasha.
Second.
Second by Brian. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Seeing none. 7, request to recommend council approval to refill vacant casual library specialist position, again presented by Jill Porter, Library Director.
Thank you. Kim Hartley, who has been a casual for the library for a number of years. Our casuals fill in gaps in our desk coverage as substitutes and also during vacation if we're shorthanded, is retiring after a number of years. And while we'll miss her greatly, we do need to fill that casual position. So again, I'm looking for approval to fill that budgeted position.
Thank you. Motion by Ed. Is there a second? By Andrew? Andrew, did you second?
Yep,
okay, Andrew? I keep forgetting to look at the screen. I'm sorry. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, like
Aye.
sign. Seeing none. 8, request to recommend council approval of revised policy number 3-510 vacation, presented by Sarah Dressel, Human Resources Director. Sarah?
Thank you. I would like to ask the group if it would be all right if I table this item for the moment. I just would like to review a few things with this policy prior to asking for the recommendation to approve to council. So at this time, I'd ask if I can put that on pause for now.
Okay, you hear the request? Anybody have an issue? We need a motion for that? Okay. Anybody have an issue with tabling this to allow her to?
Would you be tabling the next 2 items as well because those kind of wrap into it, or?
No, the next 2 are I'll move forward with, and they're slightly different than what we're looking at putting into the vacation one.
Okay.
Any other questions? Andrew, I'm not missing you, am I?
Nope, nope, we're good.
All right, so we will table that. Sarah will look forward to you bringing it back at some point when you're ready.
Thank you.
All right, number 9, request to recommend council approval of revised policy number 3-520, the sick leave policy, presented by Sarah Dressel, Human Resources Director.
Thank you. So this one, back in July of 2022, back kind of when I very first started, what we did with the sick leave policy at that time is we removed some verbiage that was around COVID and things like that. What was in the policy at that time was 40 hours of sick leave that could be used by employees for the medical needs, doctors or dental appointments of a spouse, child, or parent. So that was already in there. We left it in there. But why I'm bringing this forth is I think if we look at, year over year, depending on where your spouse is at, where your parent is at in age, where your children are at in age, sometimes 40 hours of sick time to be used for appointments, for maybe something urgent that's happened health-wise, any of that, sometimes 40 hours a week is not enough time to be able to potentially utilize to go towards a sick spouse, parent, or child. So what I have proposed is changing that 40 hours up to 160 hours. So approximately 4 weeks, so moving it from 1 week to 4 weeks. Kind of looking at FMLA, things like that. Also, some of the requests that have come in on occasion where, people have a need and have run out of options. I think that this would be something that if we added on the time to be able to utilize, we have many things in place in the policy already that would very much take care of any abuse or anything like that. We have mechanisms in place with the policy already. So what this would just do is offer an opportunity for an employee who has kind of something major come up, either with a parent, a spouse, or a child, where they would be able to utilize their banked time up to that 160 in order to take care of them and not have to worry. So I'm requesting that the committee recommend common council approval of the updated 3.520 sick leave and have that be effective after the next council meeting if approved.
Okay, thank you. Sarah?
Move to approve.
So we have a motion to approve by Brian. Is there a second? Second by Natasha. Any questions? Comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, like sign? All right. Number 10, request to recommend council approval of revised policy number 3-526, leave donation, presented by Sarah Dressel, Human Resources Director. Go ahead, Sarah, again.
Okay, thank you. This one, at the October 10th common council meeting, we did have discussions just around the variety of potential benefits that we could maybe update or change that would have that zero budget kind of impact. So one of them was updating leave donation so that sick time could be used for donating to an employee in need. So what this, the updates are doing is adding sick leave in. And then the update that I did change is just in case an employee were to have a significant event happen, changing the limitation of 6 weeks to 12 weeks. And this again was to mirror just in case the federal FMLA goes up to potentially 12 weeks, just to kind of mirror that a little bit. And then there were some additional changes that more had to do with updating who the request would go to and things like that. So certainly I can answer any questions that you might have. This is more, again, going into what had been previously kind of discussed to bring forward to this group from Common Council. So at this time, I would request that the committee recommend Common Council approval of the updated 3.526 leave donation and have that again be effective after the next Common Council meeting if approved.
All right. Thank you again, Sarah. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Do you have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Like sign, seeing none. Okay. 11, adjourn to closed session under Wisconsin statutes 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Request for variance from policy number 3-800, compensation for 2 separate cases. And closed session under Wisconsin statutes chapter 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Request for exercise option to extend lease for use of city-owned property. Do I have a motion to go into closed session? Motion by Ed, second by Andrew. All those in favor?
Aye.
Or we'll call that, I'm sorry.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Varsho.
Yes.
Wagner.
Yes.
Spiros.
Yes,
Rigel.
Yes.
we are in closed session. We are back in open session. So we are at number 13, action on items discussed in closed session. We had 3 different things. So we'll start with the first discussion.
Make a motion to approve the compensation to increase Josh Moritz up to city engineer and raise his step up 1. Andrew.
We have a second by Mr. Rigel. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, like sign? I don't see anybody opposed. Okay. The second one regarding Mr. Turchi.
I will make a motion to increase Mr. Tom Turchi up to pay grade 138, director to step 9.
We have a motion. We have a second by Mr. Rigel. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, like sign? Seeing none? That was approved. Okay, the third item. Much pleasure. Brian? Oh,
Andrew?
Andrew, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was going to do it unless you guys want to.
No, go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, I'll move to approve and execute the 5th and final year of the lease in question. I believe it's a Weinbrenner property that they're currently using.
Do we have a motion?
Second?
We have a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, there's no one opposed. Are there any suggested items for future agendas? Go ahead, Natasha.
I'm just wondering if we could have an update on the recruiting process for the development director.
Okay. We got that. Anybody else? All right, we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? By Natasha, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.